This is page 42, I'm Not in Love. Now this is in the old version of this book. So some people may have this and other people don't. It depends on which version of the book you have. Use whichever one you have. So if you have it, here we go. If you don't, you can skip this. Just gives you a little more practice at having the melody in the left hand. The melody's not in the left hand throughout the whole thing, but it is in part of it. Common time or 4/4 time. No sharps or flats. We're in the key of C major. Make sure you can do the C major scale. 2 octaves up and down. And while you're at it, do the A minor scale, because it also has no sharps or flats. 2 octaves up and down. And while you're at it, be sure and do the arpeggios, the C major and A minor arpeggios. 1 or 2 octaves, depending on what you know. But the important thing on the arpeggios at this point in time is that you're doing the tremolo exercises. And the accents and the wrists and the whole bit I explained in the videos. Very important that you do those. Now for this piece. I'm going to take it one hand at a time. Just make sure we got the fingerings and the rhythms and the notes and all that. In the right hand, not bad, just an F chord. And you're wondering, it's in C major. Why are we doing an F? Well, an F chord is actually a 4 chord in C major. We usually play it like that, but it's still an F chord. It's one of the primary chords in C major, so it fits just fine. And then 3rd major, F minor, you lower the 3rd. They put the name of the chords above, so there's a guitar player around, they could play along with you. 2nd line, 2nd measure, C chord, and then next one is an E chord, is here. Just come down here to here. And then the next one, A minor chord, here, and then the A minor 7th, where you're just changing the middle note. A bunch of chords, hopefully not a problem with you. Top of page 43. 1st measure, 2nd measure, and then the 3rd measure, you got this. And then the right hand gets a little bit of melody. Those notes. B, F natural, C. 2nd line, last measure. Now the right hand gets the melody, and B flat. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Let's go over that rhythm carefully. This is the 3rd line down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and that G is tied forever. You just hang on to that puppy till the end of the, or till the rest, and then you come up 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now they want you to use 5th finger again. Not very pianistic to do that, because it should be all connected. I mean, ideally, the phrase ended with the C, with time. That's it. The phrase is over right there. But in a musical sense, I like to connect it together. And there is, it's slurred. You can see the slur line here. But we can't go here and connect it very well. So, if you can, try this, because this is not as fast as some pieces. So, play it with 4 and immediately put 5th on it. Immediately. You need to be able to do these finger substitutions anyway, so I'm encouraging you to try some of these out. And some are more awkward than others. This isn't. Take some practice. Just go down, whatever. But here, and then you can hold that down now as you do these. And I do a 1. You can do a 3 if you want. I do a 1, 2, 1, 2. You can do a 3, 2, 1. It's up to you on the fingering there. Just make sure you hold it down. And then C at the end. It's kind of neat. You got multiple voices going on. You have to accommodate them. Left hand at the beginning, this gets the melody, but this rhythm. Again, let's look at this. You can tell with the quarter notes in the right hand where the notes in the left hand are going, sort of. So it's 1 and 2 and 3. So the C is on beat 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. And that A is tied. You love that. Then go on. Now the 4th finger now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. here, and that's tied. Now, during the rest, you come down. They say new hand position. Isn't that nice of them? It's just, you gotta love it. And they can do that way. 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and remember the rule for accidentals is for the rest of the measures. So that half note is a G sharp also. So it's 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that rhythm is over and over and over once you get that. Then at the top of page 43, 1 and 2 and 3 and a thumb right there. Yeah, they tell you to put the thumb. The reason is because we want to be in position for the next note, which is the G down here. And this way, a thumb here, you can do that. You can do a finger substitution too if you want to practice it. You can do that and then put thumb on it. You can substitute any finger for any finger. It's up to you on how you do that. You need practice at the thumb coming under, and you need practice of finger substitution, so whichever. And then going on, you just rest, or come up in the rest. And we just have these broken chords, no big deal. The second line, third measure. And now this ugly looking chord. Well, spell out the chord. That means figure it out one note at a time, starting at the bottom. Here we have an F, and then we have an A flat. Don't worry about what it sounds like, just follow it. And then an E flat. That's the chord. Again, the third measure, 1, 2, 3. You gotta come up for that. But even with big hands, hopefully you can handle that because there's no black key in here. You got more room, plus a little finger and hopefully a smaller finger. It can reach this. And then the next line, it's a D, same thing except a D. Next measure, it is an E flat, a G, and a D. And then a C comes. You do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you go back to wherever you go back to. Then the last line. You're here. That's an E flat. It's 2 ledger lines above that. You need to know that note. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. It's the rhythm, and then the C and G. Put the hands together. So you can tell how the hands line up. Those are together, then these are together. Make sure you get the right chords in the right hand there. So forth. You work out the hands together. I hope. I don't want to have to play it for you where you're used. Well, play it for me. Let me hear it. I'd prefer you work it out yourself and then compare what you've done to somebody else. Work that out and then go back and get rid of the hesitation so this quarter note pulse is steady. And you can add these slurs if you want. These chords, just play them. Not short, but just play them. You can't connect them because they're repeated. But just do the best you can. The slurs there, well, the rest in between kind of define it for you, aren't they? There's phrases. So forth. So put in the slurs, they're kind of built in for you. Then the dynamics. Well, it goes to the melody. Whatever you think moderately loud is, keep these chords in the background. They give you a little P for soft. You don't need the P. You should know that it's in the background. It's soft anyway. Make it very soft if you have to. And you have to be careful because as you get playing, you'll gradually get louder with it. So be aware of it and keep it in the background. Then when you get to the top of page 43, and the last 2 measures, you're going to go up to moderately loud here. Here. That's moderately loud. You're moderately soft. This is soft. Here it's both hands. There is no melody until you get to the last measure, the second line. This is moderately soft in the right hand. The left hand is now soft or very soft. And you're in that soft area. Now you're not going to play it bunch of measures at exactly the same level. You can get a little louder and softer, but you got to get to know the piece and get into the music where you can feel this. You can get a little louder and softer as you feel it. Just stay in that area. Speed-wise, what it says with expression, it gives you, just feel it. This, if you're gonna sing it, how fast would you sing it? I ain't singing it, but you can sing it if you want. Just keep it steady. Once you decide how fast it goes, keep it steady. You got to get past the mechanics and the note, 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 and start feeling some music in here. What is this melody telling you? Whatever. I tend to want to crescendo just a little bit through each of these. Because a crescendo through a phrase like that gives the illusion of motion, of flowing, like water flowing. So not a big crescendo, just a little. Maybe you swell up and come down. You have to experiment. So experiment with these. Get into it. Just play the melody over and over and with it, and the accompaniment has to support the melody. So you figure out what you want to do with the melody, and then the accompaniment, you make it fit what you're doing with the melody, just to support it. Roadmap wise, let's talk that, make sure that's clear, because it's a little tricky. On the fourth line down on page 43, there at the end you see a DC all coda, and then the big bold coda word there. The DC all coda, the DC means go back to the beginning. That's just standard. If you see a DC, go back to the beginning, wherever it is. All coda means then go to coda, you go to the coda sign, then do the coda. Well, the coda sign is at the bottom of page 42. You see at the end of the last line, there's two coda and the sign. You don't need a two coda. You need the sign. That tells you that's where you jump. So you go right from that spot immediately to the coda. Just go straight across, more or less, to it's the fourth line down, last measure. On page 43. Yeah. That's the coda, and then you play that. I'd like to play it with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. Don't think the rhythm of the chords will be a problem, but this melody, let's make sure we have that down. And I'm not going to do any dynamics, but I will do the DC all coda thingamajigger. So I'll give us 4 counts. Let's just do it slowly together. 1, 2, ready, go. beginning. Two, three, four, tie, 2, 3, rest.